Alaska, the last frontier, a land of stunning beauty and unforgiving wilderness, where towering mountains meet endless forests and icy waters carve through ancient glaciers. It's a place of raw, untamed nature, where every corner of the land holds secrets, and where the line between the known and the unknown is razor thin. But Alaska is not just a paradise for adventurers. It's also a land of mysteries, dark, unsettling, and often inexplicable. Since 1988, over 60,000 people have vanished into the wilds of Alaska. That's 5 people every year for every 1,000 residents, more than twice the national average. Some are found, some are lost forever, and some disappear under circumstances so strange they defy all logical explanation. What is it about this land that makes people disappear? Is it the harsh wilderness, the unforgiving weather, or is there something more, something that defies explanation? Imagine the scene. It's the summer of 2006. Richard Lyman Griffiths, an eccentric inventor from Spokane, Washington, has a wild idea, a wilderness survival cocoon designed to withstand the worst nature can throw at you. Confident in his creation, Griffiths heads into the remote wilderness of southeast Alaska to test it. He tells friends he might spend the winter in Alaska, so when months go by without a word, no one panics. But a year passes and authorities begin searching. What they find, or rather what they don't find, is chilling. A bus driver remembers dropping Griffiths off along the Alaska Highway. A lodge owner recalls him leaving some gear behind before heading upriver toward the tiny town of McCarthy. But beyond that, Griffiths vanishes. No trace of him, no sign of his bright orange cocoon, no clues left behind. It's as if he simply walked off the map, leaving nothing but questions. Did he succumb to the wilderness? Or did he encounter something far stranger? Could there be forces in Alaska that we cannot understand? July 4th, 2012. It's a rainy, chilly day in Seward, Alaska. Thousands gather for the state's most famous race, the Mount Marathon, a brutal climb from sea level to 3,022 feet above and back down. Among the competitors is Michael Lemaitre, a fit 66-year-old from Anchorage. He's not the fastest, but he's determined. 3 hours into the race, Lemaitre is spotted just 200 feet below the summit, moving slowly but steadily. Race officials encourage him to reach the top, turn around, and follow them down. But Lemaitre never makes it back. As the minutes turn to hours and the hours stretch into days, searchers comb the mountain, but they find nothing. No clothing, no gear, no body. How does a man disappear in the middle of a race, surrounded by hundreds of people, without leaving a single clue? Did he get lost in the fog? Or was there something else on that mountain that day? Something watching, something waiting. But these stories are just the beginning. In 2005, the Thomas family, parents Rachel and Timothy, and their 2 young children, set out for a vacation in the remote town of McCarthy, deep within the Wrangell St. Elias National Park. They planned to stay in an old cabin, hiking and exploring the wilderness. But when they didn't return, a search team was sent out. What they found was unsettling. The family's car was parked outside the cabin. Food supplies were untouched, and the cabin was in perfect order. But the Thomases were gone, without a trace. No signs of a struggle, no footprints leading away, just an eerie, silent emptiness. How does an entire family vanish in such a way? Some locals whisper that the land itself is cursed, that ancient spirits of the wilderness sometimes take what they want, leaving nothing behind but questions and fear. The case of Stephen Craig, a seasoned outdoorsman who disappeared in 1994 while hunting in the Talkeetna Mountains. His camp was found in perfect order, his gear untouched, but Stephen was nowhere to be found. Days later, a group of hikers reported seeing strange lights in the sky over the area where Craig disappeared, lights that moved with an unnatural speed and precision, and then vanished as suddenly as they appeared. UFOs, or something even more unsettling? Craig's disappearance adds to the growing list of those who enter the Alaskan wilderness and are never seen again. But perhaps the most chilling mystery of all is the case of the Douglas C54 Skymaster. In 1950, this military transport plane, carrying 44 passengers and crew, took off from Anchorage, bound for Montana. Somewhere over the rugged Alaskan terrain, it vanished without a trace. Despite one of the largest search operations in U.S. history, no wreckage, no bodies, no debris have ever been found. Was it a tragic accident, lost to the wild weather, or did something else intercept it? Some theorize the plane flew into a time anomaly, a rift in the fabric of reality, where it still flies, trapped in an endless loop somewhere in the Alaskan Triangle. And speaking of the Alaskan Triangle, have you heard of the strange zone between Anchorage, Juneau, and Barrow? A place where more than 16,000 people have gone missing since 1988? Locals say the area is plagued by mysterious phenomena, UFO sightings, ghostly apparitions, and even encounters with creatures that defy description. Could this be where the missing are taken? Or is the triangle a portal to another dimension, a place where the rules of time and space no longer apply? But the mysteries don't stop there. In 1931, Harry House, a seasoned trapper living near the Noatak River, vanished without a trace. His cabin was found with a fire still burning in the stove, his sled dogs tied up outside, and his supplies untouched. But Harry was gone. Searchers found a set of footprints leading away from the cabin, but they stopped abruptly in the middle of an open field. It was as if Harry had been lifted straight off the ground. Some say he was taken by the Kushtaka, a shape-shifting creature from Tlingit folklore, known to lure people into the wilderness and spirit them away to another realm. Then there's the Dillingham Null incident of 1986. 5 friends, all experienced outdoorsmen, set out on a snowmobiling trip near Dillingham Null, deep in the Alaskan wilderness. When they failed to return, a search party was dispatched. What they found defied explanation. The snowmobiles were parked in a neat line, fully functional, but the riders were gone. Tracks in the snow led away from the vehicles, but they stopped suddenly at the edge of a frozen lake. No sign of a break in the ice, no bodies, no clues. Some believe the group encountered a vortex, a gateway to another dimension, where they were pulled into another world, leaving behind nothing but unanswered questions. In 2002, geologists, Dr. Karen Martin and Dr. Samuel Roberts, ventured into the Ancak Crater, an ancient and remote volcanic caldera, to study its unique geological features. They radioed in upon arrival, but were never heard from again. Their campsite was found intact, their equipment untouched, but the crater yielded no clues to their fate. Locals believe the crater is cursed, a place where ancient spirits dwell, guarding the secrets of the earth and claiming those who venture too close. Could it be that the geologists disturbed something ancient and powerful, something that took them to a place from which there is no return? And now imagine this. It's the dead of winter, the longest night of the year. In the tiny town of Gnome, where the cold bites deeper than anywhere else, residents have reported strange occurrences, disappearances that coincide with bright lights in the sky and a strange hum that fills the air, making the hair on the back of your neck stand on end. Some believe the lights are the work of extraterrestrials, abducting people from the remote town and taking them to a place far beyond the stars. Others say it's something more ancient, a force that has been here long before humans, a force that reclaims those who stray too far from the safety of the town. Our next story begins in the winter of 1973, in a remote village nestled in the shadow of the Brooks Range, a place so isolated it barely shows up on a map. The village was home to a small community of Inupiat Eskimos, living as their ancestors had for centuries, in harmony with the land and the spirits that inhabit it. They knew the land, respected it, and feared what it could do. But even they were not prepared for what happened that winter. The village, called Aulik, was only accessible by dog sled or by the rare small plane that braved the harsh conditions. It was a tight-knit community where everyone knew everyone else, and news traveled fast. So when a young boy named Aulik went missing, It sent shockwaves through the village. Auklik was just 8 years old, a bright, adventurous child with a curiosity about the world around him. He loved to explore the frozen landscape, often venturing further than he should, but always returning home safely. Until one day he didn't. The villagers searched everywhere. They followed his tiny footprints through the snow, but the tracks led to the edge of the village and then stopped. Just like that, they were gone. It was as if Auklik had been lifted off the ground into the sky, leaving nothing behind. The village elders, wise in the ways of the land and the spirits, feared the worst. They spoke in hushed tones of the Tornet, the shadow people of the Arctic, believed to be spirits of the land that could appear and disappear at will. They were known to take children who wandered too far, children who were too curious for their own good. But the story doesn't end there. 3 days after Auklik's disappearance, a hunter from the village was out on the tundra, miles from the village, tracking caribou. The wind was fierce, howling through the mountain passes, and the snow swirled in blinding flurries. It was then that the hunter saw something in the distance, something that made his blood run cold. There, standing in the middle of the tundra, was Auklik. He was barefoot, dressed only in his light clothes, standing as if nothing were amiss. The hunter called out to him, but Auklik didn't respond. He just stood there, staring into the distance, as if in a trance. Terrified, the hunter ran to the boy, but as he approached, Auklik turned and walked away, straight into a wall of snow, disappearing before the hunter's eyes. There were no footprints in the snow, no sign that anyone had been there. The hunter, shaken to his core, returned to the village and told his story. The elders knew then that the Tornat had taken the boy. Auklik was gone, claimed by the spirits of the land. The village mourned, but they also feared, for they knew that once the Tornat had claimed someone, they would not stop. And so, the village of Aulik was abandoned. The people left everything behind, fleeing to another village, leaving their homes, their lives, their memories. They knew they could not stay, for the land had taken Auklik, and they feared it would take more if they remained. To this day, the village stands empty, a ghost town slowly being reclaimed by the Arctic. No one goes there anymore. The few who have tried speak of an eerie stillness, of shadows that move in the corners of your vision, of whispers carried on the wind. But the legend of Auklik doesn't end with the village's abandonment. In the years that followed, there have been sightings. Hunters, hikers, and explorers have reported seeing a boy on the tundra, always in the distance, always just out of reach. He appears in the coldest, most desolate places, where the snow swallows sound and the wind cuts like a knife, and always, the boy is barefoot, dressed in light clothes, staring into the distance as if looking for something or someone. Some say the Tornet still have him, that he walks between worlds, neither fully alive nor fully gone, a ghost of the Arctic. Others believe he is a warning, a reminder that the land of Alaska is not just a place, it's a force, ancient and powerful, and it demands respect. But whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. Auklik's story is a chilling reminder that in Alaska, the land holds mysteries we may never fully understand. And there you have it, just a glimpse into the chilling mysteries that shroud the Alaskan wilderness. The stories of those who vanish without a trace remind us that the land holds secrets far beyond our understanding. As the shadows grow long and the cold seeps in, remember these tales. Because in Alaska, the line between reality and the unknown is as thin as the ice beneath your feet. If you found this journey into the eerie and unexplained intriguing, be sure to like this video, share it with fellow seekers of the strange, and subscribe for more stories that will keep you up at night. And as always, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, sometimes the answers are more terrifying than the mysteries themselves. Until next time, stay safe and keep watching the shadows.